Lakeside Dental Clinic, Go Island, is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic.
We're at Country Club Centre for the Lego Big Build event. It's all about getting kids to read throughout the summer. We'll talk more about that with a representative from the Vancouver Island Regional Library, and we'll also find out about Canada's only certified professional Lego builder on today's Go Island. But first, we have a few stories for you. One of them is finding out about people are becoming more environmentally responsible and thinking about eco products. And there's a woman in Victoria who was nominated for a BC Young Professional Entrepreneur Award for something she's developed out of beeswax that has all kinds of people buzzing. Raji has that story. Also, Calendar Cars is up again this year, and Rayanne LaPlante finds out all about a 1967 Corvette Stingray. Very few of those were sold in Canada. But first, a local artist joined some other artisans on a boat trip to the Great Bear Rainforest. It was to raise awareness for the Great Bear Rainforest, but what he came back with is so much more. Kelly Robinson has that story. You're watching Go Island Weekend Edition. I'm at Country Club Centre for the Lego Big Build event, and I have the pleasure of meeting with Canada's only certified Lego professional. He is a builder of Lego, a grown man who gets to play with Lego for his career. This is Robin Sather.
Very true.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Very welcome. Yeah.
Now, this is really cool. Anybody who likes Lego, like most of us grown up with it, it's been around for, how many years now. You say that you've been building with Lego for how many years?
Well, I remember my first Lego set, which was a little, not even a set, it was from a flea market, a little tiny tub of a few bricks in an old honey container, I think it was, and I was 3. So I never really was without Lego after that. I was hooked, and now I'm 49 just a few days ago, so I mean, it's been a long time.
It's pretty cool. It's really neat. We're going to find out more about what you do professionally with the Lego. But you're here for a special event today at Country Club Centre, and that's to try and get kids to read books. Now, how do Lego and books go together?
Well, they're a fabulous mix. I mean, first of all, we're supporting the Vancouver Island Regional Library system and sign up for the summer reading programs. But fantastic tie-in between Lego and reading. They're both very thoughtful, pensive type of activities. And the neat thing about Lego is that you need inspiration. Where do you get inspiration? You get it from books. You get it from stories. You get it from your imagination. So reading feeds Lego and Lego feeds reading.
All right. Now, talking about imagination, what you are building today actually goes beyond the stretch of the imagination. I know these are really big Lego blocks. They're not the small ones. Well, some of them are.
I've got to mix them together. Yeah.
But what are you building for this event?
Making a giant orca. So a big male orca, and I might even try and match some of the coloring to some of the orcas that you actually have swimming offshore here on occasion. So, but yes, big male orca, probably 2.5 meters long.
So you're not kidding that this is actually a big Lego build event.
It is a big build, yes.
And why'd you choose the orca?
Well, it's perfect, and I think the orca is also one of the symbols in the Vancouver Island Regional Library's logo. I've never built an orca before, so any excuse to build one. We see them offshore. You have some resident pods here, and I'm a fan of cetaceans anyway, so here, it's a lot of reasons.
And this, just so people know what this is here, what is this the beginning of?
Well, it's hard to see right now, but this will be the lower jaw of the orca that I'm building. So you can see, I don't have any pink Duplo, so these has a black tongue, but these are little teeth. You can get an idea of the shape here, get a feel for the size, and behind me here, this is going to be part of the dorsal fin. So that's what we've got here. So we're also obviously talking about those of you who know your orcas, we're talking about a male orca. Nice, tall, straight dorsal fin. So yeah, have to come back on Saturday night to see when it's finished.
And that brings me to one of the last questions for this segment, this part of the interview, is how many pieces of Lego Duplo are you going to use for this?
Well, we're running a contest. So there's a contest to guess the exact number. Now, I don't actually know the exact number, but I have an idea of the Lego that I brought to build with. And so, but there's a contest. You can win some really cool Lego prizes. Come down and enter.
Okay. Great segue. That wraps up the first interview for our Lego Big Build event here at Country Club Centre with Robin Sather. We'll come back and talk to you more a little bit later on today's program. And as he mentioned, that it'll take a few days for him to build this through the weekend that the show is running. So you have to come down here next week and you've got to check out. It's going to be on display until July 2nd, I believe, and enter that contest to say how many pieces you think are actually in this. That's on today's Go Island. And coming up next, it's going to be just a little bit of a break, and we'll be back with lots more stories for you to watch today. This is Go Island Weekend Edition, and because it is the weekend, of course, we have our Arbutus RV Island Adventures series. This time, Meg and Raji take you hiking up Mount Finlayson down in the Victoria area, and also, it's a good time for adventures on the weekend outside on the water. And Dan Kahn goes orca watching. Now, how fitting is that? Because behind me, there is a certified Lego professional who is building a giant Lego orca in Country Club Central. I'll tell you more about that in a little while. But first, to start you off on our stories, of course, Rayanne LaPlante, who has calendar cars, she went to Qualicum Beach for their annual Father's Day Show and Shine. It is one of the leading show and shines in BC. You're watching Go Island Weekend Edition. I'm at Country Club Centre, and the reason we're here is to talk about the summer reading program that the Vancouver Island Regional Library has going. Julie Carter is a librarian with the Wellington branch. Thanks for joining with us today and talking about what's happening. You're using Lego to promote reading. How does that all work together?
There's a good link between Lego and reading. Lego is really good for children's brain development. It helps them develop skills such as concentration and patience, which are really great when you're doing skills such as reading. It also helps with things like manual dexterity with your fingers. So if you're learning how to write, if you've played with Lego and the Lego pieces and you have to put them in the right spot, it's great for things like that too.
That's really interesting. Didn't know. It's when you think about them together, you don't think that the two go together, but obviously they do. So now you've coordinated this event here, or the library has this big build event, but you also use Lego in the library at your branch?
I do, yes. I've had a Lego club at my branch for the past 2 years now. It's a very successful program. I typically have about 30 children every month, and there's always a waiting list. Very, very popular. So being able to put this Lego Big Build event on in the mall is really, really exciting for us because it allows us to have as many children as are interested come down to it instead of having to cap it at 30.
Okay. Now the Lego is only one part of it. Now you said the summer reading program that goes on at the branch. This is all to raise awareness for it. And I know you're signing up people here. This show is running on the weekend when this big event is going on. It won't be here next week. But how do the people come down and be involved in that program?
Yeah, so the Summer Reading Club, while we're down here, of course, we're registering kids for it, but kids are also welcome to register online or pop into any of their local branches and register. And it runs all summer, so you can come into the library in June, July, August, and get registered for it. And the way it works is it's basically a program to encourage children to read all summer long. So we give each child that registers a registration package. It has a nice reading record in it. And that you write down every time you read during the summer, you write down what you were reading. And we're hoping that you'll read for a full 7 weeks during the summer. And if you do that, we give you a medal for doing such a good job of reading. And also, after you've done 7 days of reading, then you get a chance to win a prize. We'll give you a draw slip, and you can enter to win a whole bunch of different prizes. So it's a really great program to keep kids reading over the summer and to kind of make reading a little more exciting for kids.
It is. I was going to ask you about that and say sometimes, I have a child who loved to have stories read to him, and he was very, very good in his comprehension. And then all of a sudden he kind of went, I don't want to read. How do you keep them interested in reading?
Exactly. Well, the main thing is to find books that really appeal to them. And for some children, that'll be regular chapter books. But other children, perhaps they want to do some other kinds of reading. Graphic novels are really, really popular, especially with the boys. Same thing with nonfiction. A lot of kids really, really gravitate towards that. And then you've got magazines, even, if you're reading articles on the internet, that counts as reading too in our eyes. So all kinds of reading. So we'll find you a way of reading that'll make you happy. Yeah.
That's great. Glad to hear that there's programs like that going on. If you want more information, you can always check it out on the Vancouver Island Regional Library website, and you can find out how to register for that. And this is the one we're talking about. It's at the Wellington branch, but I'm sure there's all kinds of ones up and down the island. So stay tuned for more of that and the big build event on today's Go Island. But first, of course, we have some stories for you. And the big summer feature is learning about pike fishing on Tobin Lake in Saskatchewan. But here on the island, there is wine and chocolate and bike riding. How does it all go together? Find out more in the Comox Valley with Adrina, who has a story about that. But first, Derek Johnstone speaks with a local doctor who's doing what he can to help children in Asia learn to swim. Welcome back and thanks for watching. We are at Country Club Centre. It is the Lego Big Build event and it's all to do with promoting summer readers out of the kids. We've had the pleasure of speaking with Robin Sather, who is Canada's only certified Lego professional. And we're going to find out more about Robin Sather. We found out why you were here doing this event. Now I want to know more about yourself. You've been building for 40 years. And
Plus, yes.
40 years plus Lego, and he's building a giant orca here that'll be on display for a couple of weeks at Country Club Centre. You'll have to come back next week and see the finished product. There's only pieces of it together today. But you've made a career, a job out of playing with Lego. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. Well, I've always wanted to do that. I mean, every little boy that's been building behind us here has wanted to do that. There's not many actual avenues to do it. I didn't really want to move to Denmark, although I've visited. It's a great place. Didn't really want to move to the US. I love BC. I'm from Abbotsford. So how can I be a professional Lego builder living in Abbotsford, BC? So one thing I thought was missing was someone to go around to various places, smaller places like Nanaimo or Williams Lake or Claresholm, Alberta or wherever, and do a Lego event. I said, Lego, this could work. So I actually pitched Lego on the idea of doing that 10 years ago. And I was one of the first 4 in North America to do this kind of a thing. And now there's 14 of us worldwide. So I've worked into becoming a professional Lego builder certified by the company, and I get to go around doing things. I get to design my own Lego kits. I get to do corporate builds, so if a company wants to get their logo or a mosaic, or if you want to get you and your husband or your family in a mosaic, I can do that. So anything to do with Lego, I can do that the Lego company may not normally do within its own company.
It's amazing, actually, when you look at, if anybody who likes Lego, of course, knows about the different giant Lego things that are out there. They watch the internet, and the things that actually are being built nowadays with Lego is just stunning. Now, I'm going to ask you just a question about what you personally like to build most with Lego.
My favorite stuff is historical stuff, so pirates and castles and things like that. That's definitely my favorite stuff. So my favorite builds have been giant castles and things like that.
What about dragons?
I'm doing a dragon next week in Richmond.
Wow. Okay.
next month.
I've made a little dragon. Actually, it worked out pretty good. I was proud of myself for making a Lego dragon, but that was with my son, and now the Lego's been passed along to the next generation.
Yes.
So yeah, that's really cool. So once again, talking about why he's here, it's to encourage people to be summer readers. And you were talking earlier about it's imagination. So when they asked you to be part of this for the library event, what did you think first?
Well, for me it's a typical event. It's an event to tie in some sort of creative thing and put a Lego spin on it. So for me it was no-brainer. So I loved it. I loved the idea, and it didn't take long for us to come up with the idea of an orca, and so it was really good. I mean, it came together very quickly. It's a natural fit. The mall likes to see lots of traffic, get some eye candy. The library gets some publicity. I get to build something with Lego. The kids have a great time. Families have something to do, so everybody wins.
It's kind of sad, though, after the 2-week period when there's this big orca going to be on display, you got to take it apart. What does it feel like?
It's all going to come apart. For me, even as a kid, I would spend a week building a huge tower, and 10 minutes later, I'd show my mom, show my friends, and then I wanted to take it apart. For me, it's all about the build. I didn't really play with them as much, so it's all about the build. Same with this, nothing's really changed. I think of them as sandcastles. The tide's gonna come in, wash it away, put it back in the bins, and I go to the next build and do something else. And these same bricks are gonna end up being part of a medieval village in a month. So it's just the nature of Lego.
And that's what Lego's for, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Build it up, tear it down, start over again.
Absolutely.
I bet your brain's always thinking about, oh man, I could build this, I could build this.
Very much so.
Yeah, all right. So it's been fun watching you here. It's been great learning about the Lego Professional Program that you were one of the first 4, and now there's 14. It's very cool. People want more information. Of course, they can go to Robin's website. We'll give you that address afterwards. And have some fun building that giant orca. Look forward to seeing it next week when it's all finished.
Come check it out.
All right. Still more to come on today's Go Island. Of course, what's coming up in a few minutes? It'll be Clocked. I'll tell you about that next break. Of course, it's that time again to see what kind of a challenge Kate has set up for Todd and Derek in this edition of Clocked. The guys get to find out about what I think is North America's premier leading ultimate stairmaster. That wraps up the weekend edition of Go Island. Today we've been at Country Club Centre watching the Lego Big Build event. It's all about raising a summer reader in your community. Thanks for watching.
Lakeside Dental Clinic Go Island is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic, a division of the Vancouver Island Implant Centre, delivering dental services, including dental implants and sedation dentistry, all under one roof. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions. Kate's Hair and Aesthetics provided by Maffeo Salon.